Well, hello everybody, I'm Dave, and this is Shop Talk at Rectifier Lounge. This is Rectifier Lounge. Got some work going on, but we got it set up. Got a defender going. We'll make a touch. Today, we're going to work on Area 51. A friend of mine asked if I could burn some ROMs to do Area 51 to Area 51 max force conversion using the coherent boards. It's got a double stack board, which requires a regular special set of ROMs. So we're going to compile a patcher. We're going to patch those ROMs. We're going to burn those ROMs. We're going to burn the Area 51 Max Force CHD to a compact flash. And then we're going to burn that out, and we're going to test the hardware. Okay, so this is the shop section of Rectifier Lounge. As you can see, on the bench, we have an Area 51 board that we're going to convert to Area 51 Max Force. This is an Atari system called the Kojag. It's based on the Jaguar. There are two types of boards. There is this board, which is the double stack board, and then there is the jackhammer version, which is a single board. In my experience, which is probably terribly limited, I've only seen maximum force by itself come in the jackhammer board, whereas Area 51 usually comes in a double stack. Either board set is convertible. Like I said before, there is a specific ROM set that you have to use for either board. And then there's patcher files, which basically are going to bypass the security chip. A guy by the name of Darren P. on Quav had already done the patching work himself, and he published it on his website. So we're going to go to his website, and we're going to take his work, and then we're going to basically put this out on hardware. So as you can see, this guy's got a compact flash burned with just Area 51. So we're going to reburn a compact flash disk for the Area 51 MX, and then we're going to be replacing 3 of these 4 chips here. So really the only difference is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the sound ROMs are what we're changing. So yeah, we'll see this split into a choice between the 2 games. Alright, here we go. I'm actually going to move these files around. So, as I said before, this is the Atari Kojag hardware. This is System 16, good website. Gives a lot of hardware information. Not too many games on this board set. There's Area 51, Max Force, The Duo, Fish and Frenzy, Basketball, something like that. So as you can see here, this is the dual stack. And then on Max Force, as they said, it's called the Jackhammer. I don't have a single stack board to show you, but either way. Alright, so this is the work that's been already done. This is the security bypass work that was basically put into the patch files. So what we need to do in order to get these out onto some EEPROMs is we're going to have to patch or compile this program here. And this is patcher, and this is source in C. So in my folder here, I'm going to create a new text document. Call this patcher.c. Okay. Just going to paste the C into there. Okay. So that is the patcher. Now we have to compile the patcher. What I'm going to use is Tiny C compiler, TCC. There's no installation. It's pretty fast, pretty small. Fortunately, he's no longer working on it, the developer, but it still works. So basically, we download the latest version, which is 9.26. Okay, so sorry about that. Okay, so this is TCC, and we're going to extract that here. Okay, and then we're going to copy that in there just to make it easier. I'm going to open a command window, and this is really simple. It's TCC, actually, sorry, hang on a second. we need to go one more level deep. Okay, so as you can see, TCC the compiler, and then this is the C code, and it's really as simple as TCC patcher TC .c compiles it, and now we have an executable. We know this executable works because if we just run it, it gives us its usage. So we're going to take patcher and we're going to drop it in our work area here. Okay. Now, like I said before, we're going to patch existing MAME ROMs. We have two sets of ROMs here. These are the original. These are the dual stack ROMs, and then the R3K are the single stack board. So if we look at this, single board version is the R3000. So that's the difference between the two, which depending on which one you're doing. So we're going to unzip the 4 ROMs, and then from the site, the patch files are available. Now these are just the patch files. These are not ROMs, they're just the code that you have to change. And there's 3 of them, so we're actually only going to change 3 ROMs. Typically I'll burn out a 4th ROM just to make sure it's fresh. That's entirely up to you. So now patcher works like this. Patcher, the existing file, so let's do 3H 51MX 3H, and the MX means it's Area 51 max force. And then the patch file, which is, sorry, 3H is the one that we're not doing, so it's 3K, and then 3K.pat. Okay, now, what you want to pay attention to here, these are the originals, so let's look at the date stamps on them. Okay, so we're going to patch 3K. File patched OK. Now you see 3K has been updated. So we're going to do the same thing for 3K, 3M, and 3P. Okay. So now we have the 3 patched and the original 3H ROM. Okay. And that is pretty much it for that. The next step we need to do is we need to burn these ROMs out. We're going to be using a GQ4X and the microchips that we're going to use are 27C040. These are dash 15s, which means they are 150 nanosecond ROMs. I haven't found that there's any issue with this hardware using the 150 nanosecond ROM. Sorry, EEPROM. So I've put an EEPROM, a blank EEPROM, into my GQ4X, my burner. And we're going to make sure that the device is selected. We're going to do a blank check. Okay, then we're going to load in what we need to do is load in the ROM that we're going to burn. So we need to go to our gaming and change the type to all. We're going to do a 3K. Going to open that, take that, and then we're going to write.
Which usually takes a minute or two. It's not terribly long. In the meantime, what we also have to do is we have to take this hard drive image, which is in the MAME CHD sets. I don't really know which set this comes from. It really doesn't matter. The game hasn't changed. And we're going to burn that out to a compact flash card. I only have 4 gig compact flash. It really doesn't matter as long as it's as large as the file that you're burning. So this is about 2 gigs. So a 2 gig and up will work. Yeah, it's a waste if you have like a 16 or whatever, but anyway. So what we're going to use is CHDMan from the MAME set, actually the MAME executable, and we're going to burn that out to a file. So CHDMan is actually pretty easy to use, but there is a difference if you're using, I believe it's 140 and earlier. The command syntax is different. This is 0152, so the syntax is like this, if it would ever actually paste. Okay, so I have the compact flash disk already loaded into a compact flash to USB adapter on my computer. As you can see, that 4 gig compact flash is disk 6. Sorry. That is important to understand because you are telling CHDMan to write data out to a disk by its disk number in Windows. You can also do this in Linux, no problem. So physical disk 6 obviously is marked here. Here's the CHD file. This tells you to force. This is the output. Don't remember what that is, but this is the gist of the command: extract hard drive output to the disk force. So we're going to kick that off. The force doesn't care if there's any data on that disk already, so it's going to overwrite it. Takes a little while to burn these, so I'm not going to show you the whole thing. If you get any interesting errors, like it doesn't try to write and it says disk space error or something like that, just unconnect the disk from your computer, put it back in, make sure the physical drive identifier number is the same or different or whatever, and adjust your command, and it should work at that point. So this is still writing. And for the most part, after we burn the 3 EEPROMs, that's it. So then basically we take the EEPROMs and the compact flash card, we go jam it in the PCB and boot it up and see if it works. Okay?
Alright, so we're back on the bench and we're going to put these chips in, we're going to swap the compact flash card, and we're going to boot the PCB and see if this worked. So I have section 4, page 14 of the Area 51 manual, and this has the chip location. I don't know if you can see that. 2B over here is this large chip package here. So 3H, 3K, 3M, and 3P in that order, with the notches up. Okay, so we got our new chips here. We got our old chips here. This is new compact flash, so we're going to use a chip puller. Gently pull up these chips. And keep them in order because I don't have these labeled. Just be gentle. Don't be too forceful. Keep the chip straight coming up out of the socket. Shouldn't have any problems. There's always no guarantee. You don't know how old these chips are and how corroded they may be. They get stuck in the sockets and legs come flying off. So, just to make sure. So as I said, notch is facing towards the heat sink here, which is the top of the board. This is the JAM harness. Sometimes you got to bend these legs just to make sure they're straight and that they fit into the socket, basically so that they're not splayed out. in, make sure it's seated. 3K. M. And 3P. I've actually already straightened these chips. Okay, and then this is the standard Area 51 compact flash card. Putting in the freshly burned Area 51 MX card. And tripod. So we're going to power up. And what you're going to see is the intro screen is a tad different than your standard Area 51. So, Jaguar boot. And I could already tell it's different, but I'll wait. There we go. Area 51 Max Force. And it's really that simple. Thanks for the guy in Quav who did all the legwork on this and posted a lot of his information on his website. And that is another day at the Rectifier Lounge. Thanks, guys. Tune in next time.